Meteorologist Joe Shaka here from Patreon.com and YouTube. Next generation meteorologist Joe Shaka, by the way, looking at our tropical update for Sunday, August 8th, 2021. And things are getting more interesting as I thought they would as once we passed the first week here in August. So let's see what we've got going on here. Here's the National Hurricane Center map. This area over here at 45 West is 93L, but we're going to be focusing on 94L because it definitely has, at this time, much more model support than 93L. That doesn't mean that 93L or neither one of these 94L, maybe they both develop or maybe they both don't, or only maybe one develops, and it may not be the one that develops that I think it might be. So we're going to look at that here in this evening's video. Here is, and again, this is more of an overview. I don't have any tracks out for this yet, but here's the European when it's MJO. Still coming out of the null phase, and again, that's definitely keeping the lid on, but I think this week, by next weekend, the lid is off. We're in phase one, if not in phase two, by next weekend, and then things are really going to get escalated right through the end of the month, as we'll be spending a lot of time in phase 2 and 3, and the MJO is slowing in its rotation, so I think we have a pretty active back end of the month of August. Here's the JMA with its MJO, and then the GEFS is beginning to amplify its MJO as well. If you remember the video that we posted on Thursday, the MJO was certainly held back in phase 2 with not much amplitude, and you can see the GEFS is coming around toward the European in the longer term. Now phase 2 and phase 3, obviously the hyperactive phases for tropical development, so I have no issue with that. I always like to bring this up to remind people what the MJO phases do to the Atlantic Basin, not just the Atlantic Basin, but pretty much the global tropics. But you can see what that phase 2 and phase 3 development looks like there. Here is the ocean temperature anomalies for August 7th. This is always a day behind. And you can see just a little bit of cooling here along the East Coast. This comes and goes, but overall there's plenty of fuel in the ocean to support major hurricane intensities. You can still see, 26, 27 to 30 Celsius water, mid-80 degree water. So plenty of fuel for tropical development. Even out here in the MDR, coming up around 26, 27, even some 28 degrees Celsius water over here in the central MDR between 30 and 40 West, and of course increasing as you work along your way further west and off to northwest. So plenty of energy in the ocean. We reviewed this back on Thursday when we had the JMA. You could see this actually began yesterday, so this is for this upcoming week. You can see the strong upward motion over the Atlantic Basin. I got to tell you, the JMA really can see these things coming, and you can see, the enhanced precipitation that we're getting here north of the islands with these two waves that coming across, and there's the ridge over troubled water. Week 2 looks like that, and then week 3 and 4 look like that. I had a little bit more discussion in Thursday's video about week 2, 3, and 4. If you go back and look at that other video that I did, I went into much more detail about that, but you can still see quite a favorable look as we go through the month of August. Now here's the European ensemble tropical cyclone probabilities. You can see continuing to increase pretty much 90 to 100% as it's a wave, but I think this is going to get more amplified. Tonight actually it's got a pretty good thunderstorm complex going up around it. So this is in Genesis too. This is not a named system. These like depressions as well. So this is a really depression probability. You can see what it looks like there, and then going through day 5, you can see what it looks like there. Day 7, a threat to the Bahamas and Florida, and then after that the probabilities begin to spread out as we get closer to day 8 and 9, and then you can see day 12. Looks like that with other features coming along here out of the MDR in the longer term. So here's the European ensemble with 94L, and particularly you can see the model tracks here. The intensity is relatively weak, between 20 and 40 knots. Now the big question is going to be is as this thing continues to move off to the west and northwest, are we going to see land interaction with some of the bigger Caribbean islands in here? Now, if this thing can stay off the north and west, it's going to be slightly better for the overall future for this thing, even though it still could definitely encounter some dry air and maybe some shear. It won't be a complete, knockout unless it, goes over the Dominican and Haiti and then, of course, Cuba. So this is going to be an important area of the forecast as we get towards the middle part of the week. How close does it get to these major islands to disrupt the development process? And we'll see if it's developed as it comes into this area by Tuesday and the day on Wednesday. So something to keep an eye on, certainly to say the least. Here is the GEFS, further south with more land interaction, which will pretty much destroy whatever this thing is as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're going to have to wait till about Tuesday, Wednesday to see where this thing is and particularly how strong it is. I mean, maybe not wait how about strong it is. Maybe, it's further north, and tomorrow we have a 40 mile per hour tropical storm, because it definitely looks like this thing is trying to beef up, if you will, here the last few hours. So this is going to be an important part of the forecast over the next, if you will, 48, 60, 72 hours roughly. So overall, in general, tropical development favorability is favorable through the Atlantic Basin for the next couple of weeks. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.